Dear students, welcome to my English class. I am Mohammad Shafiqul Islam, lecturer, Department of English, Nabajug University College, Damrai, Dhaka. In the last class, I gave you some transformation of sentences and speech as tutorial test. Today I am going to discuss on them. In final exam, you will get 5 sentences to transfer from one to another. Among them, you will get 2 sentences from simple, complex and compound, 1 sentence from affirmative to negative or assertive to interrogative. You will get 1 sentence from voice, that means active to passive, and another sentence from comparison of adjective, that means degree. However, now see the sentences that I gave you in the last class and how to make answer of these questions. At first, we see a simple sentence. If we see a sentence and it is given to make simple from complex. Here you find sit down where you please. This sentence has given to make simple. In a simple sentence, you only use one finite verb. So, here you find 2 sentences and here you find 2 verbs, and 1 verb will be eliminated from here and it will take another form or another part of speech, such as sit down where you please. If you make it simple, you have to write sit down according to your pleasure, or you can make your answer in another way. In place of pleasure, you can use here wish. That means you can say sit down according to your wish. And if you want to make it simple in another way, you also can write sit down anywhere. Now see how this complex sentence can be transformed from complex to simple. Number 2, I have found the book that I had lost. I have found the book that I had lost. You are asked to make the sentence compound. You can make it compound in such way that I had lost a book and I found it. I had lost a book and I have found it. Question number 3. Acquiring a language is more successful than learning. Acquiring a language is more successful than learning. You are asked to make the sentence from affirmative to negative. If you make it negative, you can make your answer in such way that learning a language is not so successful as acquiring it. Learning a language is not so successful as acquiring it. Number 4, Annie Frank was given a diary in which she chronicled her life from 1942 to 1944. This sentence has given to make it simple. If we make it simple, we can make the answer in such way that any firm chronicled her life from 1942 to 1944 in a diary given to her. Here you notice that two verbs are present in the sentence. One was given and two chronicled. If we make answer, we can take from the last word in first place. That means any from chronicled. Here chronicled is the main verb and given to her. Given here is used as past participle and this past participle works as adjective. So I find that chronicled is the main verb. That means chronicled is the finite verb in the sentence. Question number 5. Notwithstanding being killed, her name remains undying. This sentence is asked to make compound. You notice, notwithstanding being killed, her name remains undying. This is a simple sentence. You are asked to make compound. If you make it compound, you have to make two clauses and the both clause will be principal, because you know that in a compound sentence all the clauses are principal. So you have to make two principal clauses in the sentence. She was killed, but her name remains undying. She was killed, but her name remains undying. This is the compound form of the sentence. Question number 6. The old sailor showed the albatross. The old sailor showed the albatross. This sentence is asked to make passive. You know, to make passive, subject and object transfer from one place to another. That means the object of active voice will be subject in passive voice. That's why the Alberts is used here as subject, as the sentence is past tense. So be verb here will be used as past form. So the Alberts was showed. Showed is the third form of showed. Preposition by, and then the subject is used here as object. That means the subject of active voice is used here as passive, as object in passive voice. So the Alberts was showed by the old sailor. Question number 7. Since the old sailor killed the bird, he brought bad luck to the sailors. Fine. This is a complex sentence, as one clause is the reason of another clause. So using because of, we can make the sentence simple. We also can use for. Now I have used here because of. So let's see how using because of the sentence can make simple. Okay, because of his killing the bird, the old sailor brought bad luck to the sailors. Because of his killing the bird, because of his killing the bird, the old sailor brought bad luck to the sailors. Here we also find two finite verb in the complex sentence, as we have to use only one finite verb in a simple sentence. So here killed from the first clause is used as a present participle, and the main verb brought is the main verb in the sentence. So, because of killing the bird, the old sailor brought bad luck to the sailors. Now, we want to discuss on the speech that I gave you in the last tutorial. See the questions. Jim, darling, cried Della, don't look at me this way. I had my hair cut off and salted because I could not have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. I just had to do it. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. Here we find a conversation between Della and Jim. Though the speech of Jim here is totally absent. So, if we make the answer, that means if we turn into entire speech, we can make the sentence in this way. Addressing Jim as darling, Della requested him not to look at that way. Here we see that if someone is asked except his name, we can say that it is addressing. So here we find Della here addressed Jim saying darling. So for this reason, at first we find addressing Jim as darling. Della requested him not to look at that way. In imperative sentence, we have to use to. So that's why do not here is turned into not to look at that way. She said that she had her hair cut off. Here, past indefinite changed into past perfect. Cut off and salted. This is also past perfect, but here after and we silent here had. There is also had before sold, but as it is compound sentence, so with after and we should not we only not use had, because this is the indicator of past participle. However, she said that she had her hair cut off and salted because she could not have lived through Christmas without giving him a present. She also said that she just had to do it and told Jim to say Merry Christmas. She proposed to him that they should be happy. It's a very nice speech. We find here some rules that are very important, because when I discussed about speech, I told you if you find a reporting verb past tense, then if you find reported speech in present indefinite will be turned into past indefinite in indirect speech. If you find past present continuous, it will be turned into past continuous. If you find present perfect will be turned into past perfect. If you find present perfect continuous, it also will be turned into past perfect continuous. In the same way, if you find past indefinite in direct speech, this will also be turned into past perfect. And if you find past continuous, this past continuous will be turned into past perfect continuous. This is a system. Okay, I think you understood my questions that I gave you in the last class. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.